In a quiet village, far away from the noise of the world, lived an old woman named Zareen. She didn't have much: a small house, simple clothes, and a peaceful routine. But there was something about her that made people curious. She was always calm, always smiling, always at peace. People in the village often came to her. Some came with problems, some came with questions, and some just came to sit beside her, because being near her made them feel lighter. One day, a young man approached her. He had been watching her for a long time, confused and curious. He sat beside her and finally asked, "How are you always happy?" Zareen looked at him and smiled softly. "No matter what happens," he continued, "you never seem sad. Don't you ever feel bad when life goes wrong?" For a moment, she stayed silent, as if remembering something far away. Then she said gently, "Of course I feel pain. I have lost more than you can see." The young man frowned. He didn't understand. Zareen looked at the sky and began speaking. "There was a time when my life was very different. I had a family, a husband who cared for me, and children who filled my home with laughter. We were not rich, but we were happy." Her eyes softened, but her voice remained calm. Then one day, everything changed. My husband fell sick. At first, we thought it was something small, but slowly his condition got worse. We didn't have enough money for treatment. We tried everything we could, but sometimes life doesn't give you what you want. And one day, he was gone. Silence filled the air. The young man didn't speak. He just listened. Zareen continued. "That day, my world broke. I cried until I had no tears left. I felt empty, lost and alone. I thought I would never be happy again." She paused and took a deep breath before continuing. "But life doesn't stop. My children still needed me. They looked at me not for answers, but for strength. And that's when I realized something. If I stayed broken forever, I would lose more than I already had." She continued, "So slowly, I started changing the way I see life." The young man leaned closer and asked, "What do you mean?" Zareen smiled gently and said, "I understood that life is not only about what happens to us. It's about how we respond to it. I couldn't change what I lost, but I could choose what I become after that. So every morning, I made a small decision. I told myself, today I will find something to be grateful for." The young man looked surprised. "Just that?" he asked. Zareen nodded. "Some days it was very hard. Some days I didn't want to get up. But even on those days, I looked for something. Maybe the sunlight coming through the window, maybe the laughter of a child, maybe the sound of birds in the morning. Something small, and slowly that small thing became enough." The young man sat quietly, thinking deeply. After a moment he asked, "But what if something really bad happens again? How can you still stay happy?" Zareen looked at him calmly and said, "It's not about being happy all the time. It's about not losing yourself when things go wrong. When pain comes, I accept it. I feel it, but I don't let it control my whole life." She continued, "I remind myself that this moment will pass. Just like the good days passed, the bad days will pass too. And until they do, I choose to hold on to what I still have." The young man looked at her differently now, not just as a happy person, but as someone strong, someone who had seen pain and still chose peace. "What if I can't do that?" he asked softly. Zareen smiled and said, "You can, but not all at once. Start small. When something goes wrong, don't ask, 'Why me?' Instead ask, What can I still be thankful for? And keep asking that question every day. Slowly, your mind will change. And when your mind changes, your life changes. The young man sat there for a long time. Something inside him shifted. That day, he didn't get a solution to his problems, but he got something more powerful, a new way of seeing life. From that day on, he started trying her advice. At first, it felt strange, forced, and unnatural. But he didn't stop. Even on difficult days, he looked for something good, something small. Slowly, he noticed a change. His problems didn't disappear, but his reaction did. He became calmer, stronger, and more peaceful. He stopped overthinking every situation. He stopped focusing only on what was missing and started appreciating what was still there. Life didn't become perfect, but it became lighter. Over time, people began noticing him, just like they once noticed Zareen. They saw the calmness in his behavior, the quiet strength in his words, and the peace in his presence. And when they asked him, "How are you always so calm?" he simply smiled and remembered the woman who had changed the way he saw life. He realized that happiness is not something you wait for. It's not something that comes when everything is perfect. It's something you choose every single day. Because life will always have ups and downs. There will always be moments of joy and moments of pain. You cannot control everything that happens, but you can always control how you see it. And maybe that is where true peace begins. Not when life becomes easy, but when you become strong enough to stay calm, even when it's not. Not when problems disappear, but when you stop letting them control your happiness. So if you ever feel like life is not going your way, remember this. You don't need everything to be perfect to feel happy. Sometimes all it takes is a small shift in how you see things, a small moment of gratitude, a small decision to focus on what is still good. Because in the end, happiness is not found in the world around you. It is created within you. If this story made you feel something, share it with someone who might need this reminder today. And tell me in the comments, what is one small thing you are grateful for right now? And if you want more stories like this that help you build a strong and peaceful mindset, make sure to subscribe. Because sometimes one simple thought can change the way you live your entire life.